Welcome again to the video blog on Grand Rapids Trauma Counseling. My name is Bethany DeBlay, and this is part 2 of a conversation on microaggression and cloud trauma. In the first video, I had defined those things and how that impacts us, and what I really want to spend time on today is what can we do, right? How can we support ourselves as we're managing this upset or this disruption, continual disruption into our daily lives? How can we support ourselves? How can we support that feeling of being under threat? And so what I would invite you to do is to identify an experience where you have known safety. So this could be a present experience, something you have access to right in the here and now, something you have access to regularly, or it could be a person or place from the past. Let me start with the present one. So I want you to think of who is that person that when you're with them, you feel better. You might say, I feel like myself when I'm with them. Okay? That's an experience of belonging. That is an experience of safety. It could be a place, an actual community. When you walk into that, you want to be there. You describe it as a place that, it's fun to go, you want to be there, just feel good when you're there. Or something like an activity that you do, whether it's making music or making art or something else with your hands. That when you're in that flow experience, when you're in that creative experience, you're more alive, you're more like yourself than in your regular day. It could also be something from the past. So it could be that person from your past who just, when you were with them, you felt more alive and more true and more loved than you ever had before. That grandparent, that early childhood friend. Could be an experience, again, from the past. That camp you went to that was designed for people just like you. And when you went there, there was no experience of being other. It was like the experience of being completely belonging and really included in all the ways. There was no experience of fear. There was no experience of threat. So if it is a person or an activity that you can access right now, what I would invite you to do is when you are with that person, when you are with that community, when you are doing that activity, to pause and notice what changes inside you on a physical level and also emotionally when you are with that person. So when I come home to that partner who knows me fully and loves me as I am, is not expecting anything great or some performance out of me, can I pause and notice what happens to my body as I walk into the room and I see that person there? Do I notice that weight that I was carrying all day long on my chest is somehow lighter? That my shoulders somehow loosen or lower? That the muscles in my stomach are now finally relaxed when they were tight like a knot all day long? If it's that place, that community, do you notice that, like, when you walk in, it's like my spine, I just got like an inch taller. I'm taller when I walk in there. Or I can suddenly feel my legs and the power that's in those muscles. If it's that activity that you do you notice how your whole body maybe feels soft or more open? Or that your breath, it's like you can breathe as deeply as you want to, and those muscles are they move with ease. If it's something from the past that you're going to access as this experience of true and whole safety, then I would invite you to remember that person, to see that person's face, to remember that place, that camp that you went to. And as you remember, as you kind of go through that movie of the relationship or the event, notice what happens in your body in the here and now as you remember that. Like, do you feel yourself just sitting back into the chair more fully? And like the weight of your body is now supported instead of being held upright. Do you feel like your heart kind of warms up. You can almost feel your body temperature increasing in a pleasant way. It's making that experience of safety or belonging explicit or very conscious, and doing it at the physical level that helps to not only deepen our sense of safety, but then increase our resilience for the cloud trauma that awaits us, that is out there, or for the next time we face an environment full of microaggression or a person. Right? We want to deepen or have this resource that we can go to very explicitly, very consciously in our mind. So yes, it's a cognitive experience, but then we want to connect it to how we shift physically, and we want to know that, experience it, and notice it. And then we want to be able to access that as we need to, very specifically, very intentionally, as we go through our life. And this is the way, one of the ways, to help combat or lessen that fatigue, that constant fatigue that you feel when you're in that alert or shut down place in order to, navigate the stress in your life. And by increasing or being conscious of our safety, and that taps into our resiliency and helps us face those things with less fatigue.